Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. We're going to cover a little bit about marketing. We're going to talk about marketing vacant lots, or scattered lots, as they're often called by the building community. I know many people have run into that little half-acre lot, the acre lot, maybe an 8-acre piece, and you're struggling with trying to get that sold. This is not actually a new phenomenon. This has been going on for some time. It's getting more and more difficult to find those vacant lots when people really want one. And then when you have them, it's funny how there's really limited calls that come in on these. So I have a couple of personal opinions on that one myself, having struggled with trying to market them. So let me give you an idea or two of what we can do with them. So first thing I'd like to always recommend is that when you have any piece of land, or actually any tract at all, that I want you to make sure that you've researched that piece of land. So what you're seeing here on our screen today is a copy of a subdivision for an 8-acre tract that we were marketing in Clarks Valley. And this little piece of land had more controversy, so I thought it would be a fun one to work with from a research standpoint. Why is it important to go in and check these things out? And that's where we'll begin our conversation today. So here's a little property on Clarks Valley. It had been subdivided. It's showing up as tract number 2 on a subdivision plan of lots. And hold your questions, if you would, till we get to the end, and I will be glad to address them at that time. So here we have a vacant piece of land that had been undeveloped and sat vacant for a long time. Now, in preparing for this today, I went in and searched the multi-list, and currently in the Central Penn multi-list, there are 1,136 vacant lots available for sale. Some of them on the market almost 2,500 days. You can see the high here, 2,469 days. The lowest one, too, just came on the market. But the average, 466 days, and the median, 236. So practically a year across the board. Now, this is going to capture a lot of different buckets of lots. Some of them are going to fall within a subdivision, so maybe tract, the 12 lots in Sunny Acres were listed for sale, and they're slowly selling through those. I know that's going to be the case in the majority of them, but there's also plenty of small tracts out there, that half-acre lot that you listed, or the 2-acre tract that you've had for sale, and again, you're getting limited calls. Interestingly enough, the high lot, $8 million, the average, 173. But here's the interesting number. The median lot was 89.9. So out of 1,100 lots, lot number roughly 600 or 550 is on the market at 89.9. That means over 500 lots are on the market for less than $90,000. There could be some great opportunities out there, and I discovered one that I found a little hard to believe. Now, I'm not real good down in the Maryland market, but what I do know is that there's a lot near the Maryland border that's a half-acre. That's an approved, subdivided, and perked lot. It's been on the market for 1,700 days at an astounding price of $17,900. So a buildable lot for $17,900. Not bad. There could be an opportunity for someone in that particular market. Interesting thing about it, there are no images of any kind attached to that lot. Not a picture of the street, not a picture of a leaf, nothing. So not really the best marketing going on with that particular lot. And it's also not a jack-on listing, so I'm not going to add anybody and make you look bad in front of the group. But could be one of the reasons why it's on the market for 1,700 days. It also is approved for an at-grade septic system. So it's not a sand mound. It's not going to be a lot of voodoo installing this and getting this up and running. And I bet if we looked into it, we might find that even the zoning allows a lot of flexibility, maybe even a modular home. So that's where we're going to begin our discussion today. I want you to be aware of all the moving parts that go along with these vacant tracts that are out there. So when we start looking at numbers like this, where they're out there for thousands of days, and some of them, or many of them, are really competitively priced, might be something worth looking into. And maybe if it's one of your tracts and you're sitting there frustrated, here's something that may help you. So where do we always begin? Well, I always begin any search by looking at the tax records. Tax records are going to give you just a wide variety of views that you can look at. So here's the basic tax map view of my 8-acre corner lot. We can see that there's some water across the street. It's in a little mountainous area. I know that because I was there. The next detailed view that we're going to get into is off of a subdivision map or a recent survey of this parcel. And so back, when I say recent, this is actually in the 80s. This lot was created as a standalone lot, tract 2, 7.9 acres, when the adjoining property had been sold off. So we have a nice recent survey. Recent, being in the 80s is actually pretty good. But what I want you to be aware of, everything that we're looking at now can start to become your exhibits or your pictures for this tract of land. So even though taking a picture of a bunch of pine trees may not be your idea of an attractive piece, it's going to be real helpful to that builder or that buyer that's looking in on it and can start to see the depth of the lot, the width of the lot, and all the characteristics. So we're going to review that subdivision plan if possible. These things are all available online today, and so what a beautiful thing. At least back into the 70s, they're recorded online, and we can always use our friends with Secured Land to help us go pull some records if we can't find them online. They're always happy to, they're usually happy to do that. We want to see what's been recorded on this property. So we're going to see the subdivision plan. So here it is. We certainly want to know that something's been recorded. It's going to speed up any transaction. So this is a recorded separate tract of land. Why is that important? Well, in the 80s, the rules were altogether different. You could actually not create this lot today if you wanted to for a number of reasons that we're going to cover in a second. But it had been created under those rules, and so being a grandfathered lot, the local authorities have to give you some latitude in using this lot. One of the things I want you to be aware of, that any subdivision plan, there could be notes attached. And again, they are locked in time for when this was created. And finally, I want you to read the deed. The deed may also have some notes in there that may or may not make this a real attractive piece to be fooling with. And can save you a lot of time in marketing because now, and it's also in valuing, because now you know the rules of the road, what this lot can be used for. So when we drop back to the overall plan, here's the actual recorded plan from that time, Plan Book J, Volume 4, and page 55. A couple things going on. They're showing the overall tract. They're showing where it's located within the area. And then down here in the bottom, we see a couple notes. Well, what they did at the time, my notes should be popping up. Here they come. Back in the 80s, like I said, the rules were different, and you could create a lot without perking, probing, or doing much of anything. And what they're saying here is interesting. There are two surveys. One calls this Tract 2. This subdivision created it as Lot 3 or Tract 3. Caused a lot of confusion when we got to settlement. The title company and the legal descriptions and everybody involved had a hard time keeping pace with just which tract was transferring. So interesting thing, tract 3, it says, does not have a suitable area for on-lot sewage system and will not be used as a building lot. Well, that was then, and this is now, and now, of course, everybody wants to find that little random piece, at least that's what they say to you, try and market one. But they want to find that scattered lot to build on, and here it tells us that it could not be used or was not intended to be used as a building lot. And that was real typical back in the 80s to see lots that were created that weren't intended to be used. They'd certainly be usable in many cases by today's standard. So this note should cause you to look into it a little further and do a little more digging with an engineer. But if we sold it as it is right now, we'd be selling somebody a piece of land that's not intended to be used as a building lot. If you didn't read that note and bring that to everyone's attention or start asking further questions, they're going to buy that lot, go to settlement, probably have that come up and brought to their attention the day of settlement, or certainly when they go to lift their building permit and they want to start building on this lot, they're going to be told that they can't, it's not intended to be used, and then they're going to find out truly what the local authority, how they're interpreting that note that was added way back when. In this particular case, this caused me to track down the engineer that did this plan over 20 years ago, find out that his records were only stored for 14 years, so he had no further records to be helpful to me, although he did confirm that it was set up as a separate lot, it was a separate taxable piece, we could easily sell it separately, and gave me some tips on what we can do today to perk it and make it usable. There was also some floodplain delineation on this map, which was actually across the front of the lot. That really didn't impact the lot that greatly because it also fell within the setback limits of the lot. But these are all great disclosure issues for you that you want to turn loose with somebody so they know exactly what they're buying into. When we read the deed, we found something else that was kind of interesting. Now, this was part of a much larger tract, but in the much larger tract, one of the adjoiners.
I'm listening to a.
So one of the things that we discovered is that an adjoiner was granted lifetime rights back in 1889, allowing them to cross this tract to reach their mountain land. So may or may not be something that's usable today, but again, it's certainly something that you want to know when someone pops up and starts driving across your land. Where did they come from? And again, this is kind of easy stuff to track down, but if you're not looking into at least a little research, this could come back and be a surprise at settlement again. When the title company comes up with a previous deed, it's outside of a 60-year search. However, it was the prior recorded deed. And this is part of our current deed. It's certainly going to come up and get somebody's attention. So again, make sure that you're looking at least a little bit at that chain of title. And if you have any problems with that, ask the ladies from Secured Land. They'll be glad to give you the quick primer on what you should be looking for. And again, this was easily available online through the Dauphin County Recorder of Deeds. Perhaps in your particular marketplace, not everything is accessible this easily online. I know some of you use Landex. Those are going to be your local customs, and you'll just have to work your way through that. Those of you that is the case, I know you have Landex, so make sure you do that little search and look at what you're getting into. Another resource that's available for you is going to be the Landex, I'm sorry, not Landex, but the GIS system for your area. It's going to give you access to an aerial view of the property. Again, this is a fully wooded lot, at the time of the aerial, which was 2011, and it's still true today. Again, could be a nice little exhibit so someone knows that, hey, you're getting a pretty densely wooded tract of land. It's going to be a little bit of a complication when you go to develop it, but it's something that you need to be aware of, and it's going to be highly attractive to someone that's looking for that wooded type of land. So I have a note here from Mr. White. I'm going to come back to you, Dave.
I think I fixed the problem.
Oh, you fixed the problem? Okay, because I was hearing that the graphics weren't coming through, so you're seeing my wooded tract here?
I am. I just went to the mini window where it says view, and I got to restore. I hit the restore, so it came right up.
Okay, terrific.
Sorry.
Because mine's showing here that we've got a pretty healthy connection today, and it should be coming through just fine.
Yes, it's fine.
Well, I'm going to leave your mic open so you can be my alert in case something does go sideways for me here. I appreciate that. We'll give you a job. You thought you were going to sit there with your feet up.
Yeah, I thought I could just relax.
Yes. So anyway, you've got access today to great aerial views through a number of features, but always drop back to this GIS map. You're going to see that the tract is located. We've got our tax ID identifier right here, and we've got the meets and bounds of the property, and you can see other things across the street. You can see that stream. You can see the roads, adjoining properties. So when you go out to show this property or to meet with the owner, you've got plenty of landmarks through this great aerial photography that you're going to be able to nail these corners pretty quick, or at least get awfully close to them. Since this property had been surveyed in the 80s, it's real possible we're going to walk up to some monuments that were established at that time. Certainly not the wood stake with the orange ribbon any longer, but perhaps a metal pin. And you'll be surprised when you have this much data at your fingertips how easily you can walk up and find corners and look like the rock star to an owner or to that possible buyer as you're going along. Now, there's marketing a wooded lot like this, and you've all seen them. You go in and they've got a view here and a view there of a wooded lot. Well, it's like a picture of a tree. Doesn't really tell you too much. And you're going to be limited. Let's stay with my friend with the 17.9 lot. 1,700 days on the market means that you made a lot of phone calls. You've done a lot to extend that property. Gosh, that's like 4 to 5 years that you've been working with this piece of land at $17,000. I don't know that there's any amount of money that you're going to receive at that point on a $17,000 sale that's going to get you jumping up and down and make you want to do that again. But what if we could turn that 17.9 lot sale into a $150,000 sale or a $200,000 sale and actually move it along faster than 1,700 days? And maybe give somebody something that they wouldn't ever expect on their own. And that would be a new home on a wooded lot or on that half-acre lot at a real reasonable fee. $17,000 lot, you can get into a home there for $100,500 and have it complete, I bet, most days, especially with an at-grade septic system. If this thing was local, we'd be talking to a builder right now. And that's what I want you to think in terms of. Don't limit your thinking to, I need to sell this half-acre lot. How about if you could parlay that half-acre lot sale into a new home sale? And how about if you could start to build a relationship with a local builder, a small local builder, or a medium, or even a large builder who'd be willing to work with you on these scattered lot sales? Everybody's looking for more business all the time. Now, somebody with 20 subdivisions may not be looking to talk to you, but a younger builder that's been doing additions and they all want to break out, build a new home, might be looking to build a relationship. And you can bring him some scattered lots and clients, and he can bring you clients that are looking to build and need scattered lots. You can start to build a relationship off this $17,000 listing that'll turn into multiple sales down the road. So how would we do that? Well, how about if we marketed your lot with a home to be built, much like the production builders that are out there would do right now. So we're all familiar with these kind of listings that are in the marketplace. Hey, here's a Savannah that could be built, blah, blah, blah. It comes with all these different features. Currently, there's an incentive of $8,000. And this is what they're doing to market and bring you in as a buyer online. So we know that very few people and very few sites support lots only. And so many times that's really down and dirty. You got your hands in on that when doing the search and helping a buyer. But what if you were marketing this two-story home, complete, turnkey, on your lot at $222,000? Now you're going to get paid, and so is the other agent, a commission of 2.5% net of the total sales price, as long as that agent's involved in the meetings. Well, we know on this particular case, an agent's going to be reaching out to you, and they're certainly going to be involved with that buyer. But you're marketing a home that could be built, and you make sure you want to put your proper disclosure out there, plans and specs, what's included at this price. But there are small builders that are willing to work with you, price out a Savannah on that lot with the paved driveway, with the septic system, and make a pretty much turnkey project out of a basic $17,000 sale that now you're going to get paid at $200,000. Part of the payment will come from the owner on his $17,000 lot sale. Maybe the builder will just buy the lot and market it himself through you. There's half a dozen ways this can be structured. But start to think, wouldn't it be great to get calls on a $200,000 home sale instead of a $17,000 lot sale? And you build a relationship with a builder, you move your owner's lot less than 1,700 days, and you build a long-term relationship. And that's my goal in this little presentation to you today, to get you thinking outside the box. Think like a builder instead of somebody struggling with a $17,000 lot or $20,000 or $50,000. You can turn those into much larger transactions, and there are builders that will work with you. A couple caveats: make sure that he's giving you a price that he can live with for at least 90 days. You want to be able to market this, find somebody, get them approved, and get them into the process. And then revisit it every 90 days and just make sure his pricing is still current, because we know things change. They get busy, they get slow. They might move it up, they might move it down. Make sure you're clear on the plans and specs that are included with this home. So now you could have a front elevation. You could have a floor plan of a house. You could have a spec sheet, what's included at this price. And now you can have a buyer show up, make an informed decision, go to a showroom, pick out their materials, build a new home, and be in and out of this thing in the next 3 to 4 months. And you're getting paid on a $150,000, $200,000 build job instead of a $17,000 lot, that they're going to go off and do this anyway in many cases. But you facilitated the whole thing and made it simple for a consumer. Where do you find these guys? Well, it's really easy to find. They are right out there online in our area. The Harrisburg Home Builder Association gives you their directory right online. You can find builders. You can find out what their specialty is, maybe a personal referral from another agent or a build job that you've seen, someone that you met at one of our meetings. But here you've got qualified guys that do reputable work. They're part of a reputable association. And again, gives you another level of marketing that you can use in presenting this $17,000 wooded half-acre lot. Now you can start to parlay that builder, maybe some of his other projects, and find plenty of pictures and items that you can use to start to market this lot and give it an altogether different life. Sure, you're still marketing as land alone, but now you can link it into this home that could be built. If you take someone like Keystone Builders, they might have 20 plans in the multi-list of homes that could be built at Arbor Gate or wherever they're building. You've got your lot. Think in terms like them. Those homes are not there. Now, the multi-list is going to limit you to one plan per address. So just be careful with that. You're not going to be able to load this up with different properties. But again, as additional pictures, you could take that and so of course you show the loss leader, show the bi-level home that could be built on this lot for $159. Maybe another picture exhibit could be, or we could build you the two-story Savannah, or the two-story Ashley, or the property with the first floor master bath. Call us for pricing. Call us for availability details and specs, and add those additional pictures in and really start to market this lot and make some more money for yourself. Again, this is being successfully done. I have a good friend in Lebanon County that if I'd call him, probably in a week, I'd have plans and specs and pricing for a lot, scattered lot that I'd be building, and he'd be willing to market it with me. Remember, you're helping them. You're bringing them additional marketing. You're bringing them additional opportunities, and they're bringing you pricing and a product that you can sell, and everybody makes money. It's a winner all the way around, and you're moving a lot, hopefully in less time than 1,700 days. So that's my idea for the day. I'm going to open things up here for questions, so please be aware I'm going to open your mics, and would be glad to entertain any questions you have. So just give me a second to get these unmuted because it's a little, still a new process for me. But I hope you're enjoying this format. I love this being able to bring this range of topics to you. And I know with the recordings that I have online that we're starting to get some views. So even better. So let me go down the line. Mr. White, any feedback for me today? You're like my perennial viewer here, and I appreciate you checking in.
In looking for a potential smaller local builder at the Home Builders Association, is there a way to filter, like look for someone that maybe is a bit smaller that might be a potential? You just have to kind of call folks and then work your way through it that way.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to take a few phone calls, maybe a little networking. The ladies at the Home Builder Association certainly know their membership, and you can call them and ask them. Maybe they know somebody that's looking for work or looking to break out, do some build jobs. They'd be at least a good filter. They're, you know, like us, they're going to give you at least 3 choices. They're not going to just say, oh, call Dave. They're going to give you a couple choices. But you can narrow it down pretty quickly. Also, this directory allows you to filter it by business activity. And so you'd be able to filter it a little bit. But you can't beat showing up for one of the mixer functions and looking for a builder and throw that one out there. I think you'd be the hit of the evening for some of these guys. And there are great guys in every area that are looking for this type of work and would love to start that relationship with you. Maybe the first time out of the box isn't the one that you want to test, but certainly there's a lot of tried and true guys out there that have built lots or built homes in scattered lot situations. In fact, my friend in Lebanon specializes in that, and he had an agent feeding him lots for years. That woman knew every piece of land for sale everywhere. It was amazing to watch her work. We used to call her ourselves and ask her, do you know of any lots in the Myerstown area, in the Granville area? She was an encyclopedia for sale by owner and scattered lots out there. And fed him a lot of business. Hello?
Sorry, I thought you were done. It's Karen. I have a quick question for you.
Yes,
so
Karen.
when you're done, come to me.
Pardon me?
You were talking. I actually have. I'm working on a listing a lot that expired, and I did talk to them about doing, to be built, speccing with a builder. My question is, I've never done this before. How do you structure it if they own it? The builder will build on it and sell it as. But how do you structure a listing? How do you structure so that the builder doesn't have to pay for the lot at this point?
All right. That'll be certainly one of your negotiations. Now, there's a couple pieces to that. So we have a listing contract with the owner, and here's where they get nervous. Well, I don't want to sell my lot for $17,000 and pay a commission on a $200,000 home, because that would be the best part of $10,000. They'd have nothing. So in your listing, the owner is paying the commission for the lot sale only. I'd have a contract with that builder to, if he builds an Ashley on lot 17 on Smith Road, that he has and we had this form for years. It used to live inside of Link as a new home contract, custom home to be built contract. I'm sure we can easily find that document for you, or
it would be nice to be able to look at it, and then I'd be a little more educated.
Yeah.
Because then the builder's going to take commission on the difference between the lot and what the house sells for.
Exactly. He's going to pay that on the package for lot 17. And you'll find that, you can easily create that document and protect yourself that you're getting paid at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's just like bringing him a custom buyer. He's going to have a form for that. We'll just create one in reverse and have that for him to sign should we put this deal together for him.
So then what happens? So let's say, okay, then we find a buyer. The builder does, at that point the builder buys out the lot, or he doesn't pay for it until settlement? Because now he's starting to put money into the deal, unless he has it such that the buyer does a construction loan.
Right, and that would be the conversation you're going to have with both your owner and then the builder to find out just what their level of excitement is. So they might say, you got a small builder, he doesn't have the ability to build that home without a construction loan. The seller may or may not be comfortable having a home put on their lot without some cash. So we go back to the buyer and say, well, you'll need a construction loan. And you tell them right from the start, here's a construction loan, here's our lender, here's the process. So you're putting together a little team sport here. But that would be the process. So the construction loan pays to take down the lot, and then you roll right into the construction of the property.
Okay.
So,
that would be the best
we're accustomed to what's called an end loan most of the time in most of these developments. Here you'd be doing a construction loan. Depending on the owner and the builder, sometimes an owner will do what's called subordination, and they will take a second lien position. So I've owned this lot 25 years. I have it paid off. I'm willing to step back and let the builder get a construction loan to build on my lot, so I can now give the buyer an end loan. And so I'm sitting there with my lot, and I'm getting a home built on it. When it's complete, everybody gets paid off, and you're only doing transfer taxes one time. It's a nice, simple process. So, there's a number of variants to it. If they're going to get into those kind of situations where they're subordinating to a builder, that's when you say call your attorney, make sure you're getting yourself protected. We're not going to negotiate that piece for them. We're simply trying to market their home or their lot the best we can by bringing in another level of marketing, and we're going to market it both ways for them.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's a great question. Absolutely. Anyone else with any questions for me today? I hope this gets you thinking a little bit. Like I said, there's 1,100 lot opportunities out there. Somebody's got one that they're that they're struggling with and would like to get moved. Anyone else? Any questions? Again, this recording will be made available to you, and we'll have it up and online. And we'll be back doing this again next Thursday on a new topic, which I forget what it is.
Very good.
But thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Pardon me?
I said it's very good. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Talk to you all again next Thursday.
You bet.